Welcome back to Factorio Masterclass. My name is Nilaus and we are here in space. We're going to space today and we're going to be designing one spaceship to rule them all. That's the intention. So a bit of context. In one of the previous streams, someone was asking me, what kind of spaceships are you actually using at this stage of the game? Well, this stage of the game is also a little bit confusing because it's technically only at rare quality level, but I'm basically designing with legendary quality because I want it to work with legendary quality, I want it to be optimal with legendary quality but work with rare quality. So we should be thinking about, like, we have mainly rare quality items at this point and we've been working on getting legendary. So at this point we're also going to be transporting things between the planets quite often, and for that we of course need a spaceship. So the objective here is to design a spaceship that will work for rare quality but it will be so good that you could just upgrade it to legendary and then you never need to build any more spaceships. So the design criteria for the spaceship is it should be fast, it should be lots of storage, it should be fusion powered, it's built in rare quality, it uses lasers but no ammo, and it can also go to Aquilo, so it must have rockets as well. That's the design criteria. So we're going to be designing a ship that fulfills those criteria, and it's going to be taking a lot of inspiration from all the iterations I've already done for previous ships. So that sounds interesting, and of course then these designs are available to patron supporters. So if you are a patron supporter, you just snatch the blueprint and smash it into the game and you never need to worry about spaceships anymore. So the first thing we want to build is a power plant. So let's build a power plant and let's get this up to rare quality. And I'm going to be enabling these lines so I can see where I am, there and here. Then I'm going to do this one as well. And these will be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the best way of doing this is like this, because that's the way that it uses the least space. And then you can also see that this is no longer even. It should actually be even like this, I guess. Good. And some fueling here and some fueling here and some fueling here. Then we need to get this too back again. This is the recycler. All this is just normal stuff that we have done before. Obviously nothing works. And we are also going to get something inbound, and I'm going to do it a little bit different from what I've done before, because I actually want this to be a little bit smarter than the previous iterations, and that means I'm going to be building this one for this fluor ketone here, and that will just be automatically emptying, and that means I can go in and out, and then we'll have a condition that stops this one from working when we have a certain amount of, oops, set recipe, great, clicking too fast, there. When fluor ketone is less than 1000. So what this does, then we're going to get a cheating power to get it started. Then we're going to get these two. Get some power just to get started. Let's see. Is it working? No. No input fluid. No input fluid. Because I am not having... Oh, I forgot to set the recipe. Or, actually, there we go. So this goes in, feeds here. That means I can just request the fuel in here if necessary. And this one is at 1000. And there. Good. All's good. Now we have power. Almost, at least. Just need this. There. So that is power taken care of. That means makes everything a lot easier just to sort of know, okay, we got power. So the next thing we want to do is let's put some storage on the ship here. And we're just going to be making... There. And then we're just going to fill this up. You can make this as big or as small as you like. I am going to build... How much am I actually going to build? 5 rows. 5 full rows. 1, 2... That's 3 full rows, and that's 4 full rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What? 5. Yes. Good. Like this. That's basically a good start. And then I am going to build the front. So the front doesn't fall off. It should not. We're going to be getting... Let's start with some rockets here. We are going to build them. There will be some nice room here for building some good rockets. I think it'll be like that. And then we are going to do our usual trick that I always do, and I think it's because it's freaking amazing. We're going to have this belt running around, and this is going to be just running around everywhere like this. And this belt will contain two things. It will contain the rockets that we need for here on the inside belt, and it'll contain on the outside belt we'll have rockets. On the inside belt we will have asteroids, which means that when I then get my asteroids here, asteroid collectors here, for example, I want to get it like that. Then I can shift it. Also has to be rare quality. There. Downwards. And that means it is outputting on, lo and behold, the inside of the belt. And it's very important that it keeps on the inside of the belt. We're going to cut some of this out up here. And you are then going to be, I guess, like this. Because these are also need to be inbound, 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 and inbound. I'm going to take this up here. There. So that means now we have rockets here. Then I'm going to... We don't really need a lot of asteroids here. We just need enough to keep the fuel going and the ammo going. But we have good productivity, so there's not really much need here. This seems like it's too far out, doesn't it? No? It's fine. Here. And this will also still on the inside of the belt. So there we go. That is good. Then we need lasers up front to protect the front. That's like this. And that should be just packed up as close as we can. That. And we'll get a full line here. And in the corner, that one and that one. And get this out. So we get a nice... Could do this. There. Sweet. That's really nice. That's a nice front of the ship. And then we need a little bit more ammo on the side. We'll also need to set these up. Then at this point, I want to... What if I do... I don't know if it's 8. These. I don't need to do this on both sides. Oops. I want to get... There. There we go. And then we can continue this on below. 1, 2, 3. And get another one of these in here. Like that. There. And though this one will just be like a repeating pattern all the way down here. So that's the protection area. And these we'll do a lot of the fine-tuning later on. So let's... look at the back of the ship. So the back of the ship is going to be a little bit more involved because that needs to do a couple of things. It needs to first of all like process all the stuff that comes in. That'll have to go like loop around like this somehow. So that we can tap it. Then we need to build some ammo production. And here is a key difference from what I do and what I think most other people would do. I am actually going to use explosive rockets. Why? Well, explosive rockets are just... they're just better. It's that simple. I've tested this with both normal rockets and explosive rockets. And explosive rockets are so much better. They just destroy the... they destroy everything so much easier. So we're going to be doing this with explosive rockets, and it just works a lot better. The thing is, the density when we fly to Aquilo, it just means that the explosive rockets will destroy a lot more. They're a little bit more expensive, but doesn't really matter that much. We're going to get a design here. This one will be getting the iron inbound. So we're going to get iron inbound in here. There. Oh, I hate this sound. It's not sound, it's just an alarm clock going off. Then we are going to get... This will also be... This belt will be combined rockets and ammo. No. It'll be combined explosives and iron. Yes, that's what I wanted. And then I'm going to get some outbound lines. They'll be like this. And like this. And then we need normal quality... there. I am only using normal quality for the stack inserters because rare quality stack inserters are almost as annoying to make as legendary, so we should not expect to have them at this stage. It's also just for stacking, it's not for throughput. So that's just it. So if I'm faking this, then I am going to do iron on one line and explosives on the other line. Let's see if it works. Should. Well, they're huffing and puffing at least. Is anything coming out? Alright, it's almost. And there we go. So that comes out. And just check that we are on normal speed. Yep. Good. So this works. This is good. This will fill up the whole thing with the ammunition. The problem is these are going to be shooting at everything, but we'll sort that out later on. So this is a good place to start. Let's work backwards from here. And then we're going to be making the explosive factory. I mean, it's not hopefully not an explosive factory, but it is a factory that makes explosives. There. This one will make explosives. And this is going to be chock full of these qualities. So that's actually 128 productivity. Nice. And we're going to get a beacon. Because of course. Then this is annoying to make, but it has to be done. Let's see. That will go up here. This will make coal synthesis. Very important here. Do not, under any circumstances, put productivity in this. If you put productivity in this, it messes ratio and it jams. So don't do that. Don't do it. I warned you. This, you can put productivity in. This will be here, because the point is, this ratio output here is 5 to 2. This ratio input here is 5 to 1. This ratio is 1 to 1, and this one coal comes from the 1 to 5. So this outputs 2 sulfur, 1 goes in here, 1 goes in here, and the coal, the carbon, 5 carbon goes in here, so 1 craft will be exactly enough to make explosives. If you do not put productivity in, but if you put productivity on this one, then it skews the balance between these two, and then it messes up. I am actually going to do something a little silly, but I am going to do this, and then I actually want stack size to go all the way down to 1. Yeah, and the other one will just go to carbon. There. So with every craft, it goes in. Now we have to remember that the asteroids are on the inside. That means we have to put it 2 away from the edge, and then get this one. But this one should only be filtered. Yep, not like that. It should be filtered to the residuals, and obviously it's not going to be all 3, but then I don't have to set them up all the time. So that's this is just the standard way of getting it in, and then this carbonic asteroid chunk that can be recycled can go back on the belt. The other one is going to be ice, and that will just go in to here. It will craft ice, and will it craft it fast enough? There. How fast is this? This is 32 per second. This is consuming 32 per second, and this one's consuming 27. Okay, so this needs there, and underground and up to that. Good. So we got the ice going here. That should give us exactly what we want. We are not getting any water because this is not going in. There we go. Water. That one works. This one works. We also need this one. Good. Coal inbound. Great. Okay. So we now have an outbound. Let's get that here. And Right, so that was one item. And I'm actually going to take this whole thing and move it one down. Because then I can squeeze more in here. Oops, wrong side. There. So this is working fine, I guess. Nothing there. We just put this in because we can fill it up. So now the only thing we're missing for this is some iron part, and that should be simple enough. Let's make it here and here. This will be making iron plates, and this will be making iron from that. And we just set them together. They are going to be productivity, and you're going to go out here. So this will produce 3 point something. That's not much. Let's put a beacon in here. Now it's producing 29, and this thing here is consuming 8. So no problem. Then we have the issue out here, which is going to be basically the same as this thing here. Yeah, like this and this, except these are going to be different recipes. Yeah. Good. So one of them is going to be the calcite. You're going to do calcite. That means calcite goes in here. And the other one is going to do only iron. So this works fine up to a point, but it has excess ice. This ice I don't want. I don't want any ice anywhere. Which seems like a reasonable statement to have anywhere. I'm just going to put that out here. Oops, these are not correct. These are also legendaries. They should not be. Afterwards, at the end, we'll check to see if we have any legendaries still roaming. Ah, yes, we do. Lots of legendaries have snuck in. Here. There we go. Good. This works. This is full. This one does not work. Why does it not work? Oh, because nothing comes in here. Oh, okay. Works. Great. And this I'm just going to throw overboard. This is why I didn't continue this downwards, because I knew that I was going to be dealing with this. Good. So this is the ammo production. That's all we need for the ammo production. The thing we then need now is then looking at, we need to get the fuel production going. So I don't know how far that needs to go down, but let's start hugging it around here. We're going to start with this one in the center, because we are also going to, I'm just going to, this is not strictly necessary, but I just feel that it's nice to indicate what is on these ones. So we're going to take this and then go, that will go into these locations. So I'm going to get some there. It's kind of silly to have these so close to each other and not merge together. It is. Let's see about it. I mean, we might as well just try see if we can merge them together somehow. But this will be the fuel. This, the good thruster. And they're just going to be here. And on the other side, well, these also need. Good. So this will give us the fuel outbound. And, or the oxidizer outbound. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Except that this will not be fueled, but this will be fueled this time. And these two here. And there. So this will also have some excess ice outbound that I don't want. So I need to deal with that. Let's see. The other things, let's say, we're still going to get something like this out here. That one and that one. This will be the ice maker here. And this will be the carbon maker, which is here. Carbon maker. We're going to go in here and set that to carbon. And the other one will be here. And then this also reveals where everything else is going to be, like that, and like that. And that reveals that this will be how big the ship is. And then the issue now is... Yeah. I am going to get an ice outbound here, which will go up there and then be thrown out as well. Again, we could use this ice for something, but I want to work on simplifying things. And I think this is more simple than trying to get this over here and then balance it so that this gets priority. I just don't care about it. It's not really a big deal with the efficiency here. So, don't care. This one will be iron instead. And that will be... Whoa. Yeah, that should have been the ice cube transfer here. Yeah, that one goes here and here. That's what I wanted. Does it work? You're going in here? Yes. Yes, working. This one's working. It gets water. Yes. And the water is working. These water are not fast enough because they are productivity modules and I don't need that. So let's go out here and do this instead. And probably that one as well. Now, it would be really nice if I could get them together, to merge together somehow up there. But it's not super simple because I also need... this is like a standard build. I need two more things, and I need something that we have on other ships. That is a rebalancer, so that if this one picks up a mixed... If I'm not using it the same rate, you can see there's way too much metallic. So I need to do a remixer. Which I will do 1, 2, 3. And we'll be having this thing. Yeah. And the first one will be taking the metallic one and reprocessing into metallic, carbonic, and oxide. So this is like the basic idea. This cannot be productivity. Then it would be insane. But then I need to set up some condition here. Like that one. And then I'm going to have this monitor, sorry to flip it, monitor the belt down there. So you're going to monitor the entire belt. There. So now that tells us what is in the belt. So this one would basically say, if we're doing the metallic one, if metallic is greater than carbonic, and metallic is greater than ice or oxide, and metallic is greater than a certain threshold, let's say 120, then these three conditions are true, and then it will send a signal of, let's just send a signal of green. Yes. And then that signal of green goes in here, and you are only enabled when it gets a green signal. There. And if we really want to be fancy about it, then we can put a line down here. There. And then this one also enables when green. Cool. So we just built these three for the other ones as well. So I've shuffled things around a little bit. We managed to get the water sort of sneaking in here. So that all these three locations are now connected. The water is connected between all of it, between the fuel build and the explosive build. We've also built this one. And I've now sort of found a way to sneak out the fuel and the oxidizer. I swapped this fuel and oxidizer because I think it fits better with what I'm going to do next. That will be the rockets. So let's build the rocket. They will also be built rare quality. There. And that's going to be a little bit difficult how close I want to make it. That's going to be like this. Yes. See, now there's always like a problem sometimes. Well, when I'm building in creative mode, then it doesn't quite do it the right way. It has a tendency to make a little bit of issues. There. There. Okay, so that works. We're going to start from here, and then we're going to be building these everywhere else. And there, there, and there. It's not actually going to be a lot of rockets on the ship, but it actually looks nice. It has a really nice to it. So now the question becomes, can I do this? So this is the why I moved it around, because this will now be the fuel and it comes out here. So I'm going to do like a basic design that looks like this, and a basic design that looks like this. This is basically how I want to get this going. Ooh, see, this is not great, because that will actually connect the wrong one here. And we just start deleting this. But that's fine. We can do that. And then get you here. Ooh, that's not great. I thought that was good. That was not good. Damn. Somehow there's always room for things in Factorio if you just jumble things around. And what we've done is I'm leading the oxidizer here and going over here, and then we can just squeeze it in. This one will output on the right hand side in the direction of travel, which means that it can go in here. So that's all good. And then we have these boxes. I'm not going to throttle the fuel going into the engines. I'm simply going to just take whatever we can and burn it, because we want the ship to fly as fast as possible. And having a buffer here then just helps, while in idle time it just fills up the buffer as it's flying out. So the last thing we need is to control how these are activating, because these should not be activating all the time. They should only be activating when there is, or if they are active all the time, they'll fill up the belt, the inside of the belt, with random crap, and that's not great. Then they won't be able to output. So I need to do some kind of control here. This is something we built in all previous ships, so I know that works really well. And I could just copy paste it, but I don't want to copy paste it. I want to build it from scratch here, because this is, well, it is a masterclass, so I can't just be like, yeah, and we copy something else. Sometimes I do, but we've also done this design before. But yeah, this is the great thing about Factorio and spaceships in particular, is that there will be some good solutions and you can recycle those. Now we're just setting up the wiring here. So what is the first thing we want to do? We want to monitor how much we got on the belt. So that comes in on the green wire. We want to say what is the maximum we want on the belt of each type, and I'm just going to set it to 150. That seems like a good number for a ship of this size. We can always adjust it if we find out that it's a little bit too much or a little bit low. We want to have a number so that the sum of these, if there's full of each of these, that's 450, is a pretty full belt all the way around, but it's not too full. So for example, now we monitor how much is on the belt. This is on the outside belt and it's stacked 4 high, so we have to take this number and divide by 4. Oh, it's not actually a fully dense belt. Okay, so if it was dense, then we could use that as a measure for how much is capacity on the belt. Anyway, so what we want to do is we want to say when the when this one is greater than this one. Now it just summarizes, but I want to say when the red wire is more than the green wire. That means I want more of this. Then we're going to send a signal like that. And we build the same thing for the other ones. Yeah. So now I get signals out from these that tell us what we want. Like, these are the things that we want more of on the belt. And these should also just be set up like this. And set up to a green color. And change this and this. So now it illustrates which ones we want more of. Good. Then we're going to take what we need more of there, and then we're going to get it out here, because then I can use this and set the filter. And then we just loop this around to all the other ones. I don't need these two, but I need to see, we can't reach that fast, so we just leapfrog on these. And on the other side, we do the same thing. And there. And then we set the filter for all of these. And there's one more filter we haven't done, and that is all of these here. All these should be defined what they should shoot at. Let's see. We want to go that one. Oops. This is the one we're setting up. That one. That one. And then also the small ones, if need be. There, and you're gonna ignore all other targets. Then that just needs to be copied all the way to all of these. The rockets will be slightly different. And then we should talk a little bit about how we how much we need in terms of research, because I have tested this ship and I've been I want to find the minimum amount of upgrades you need in order for the ship to work, to get safely to and from Aquilo. The second one is these ones. These will be shooting at the big. We don't have huge. Huge is outside of the solar system. That's the ones that... There. This one. Yeah, okay, so that is now done. Now, let's look at research. What you need research-wise is you need at least 13 levels of laser defense, which costs 64. That's not much. You need at least 13 levels of explosives. That's 64. That's not much. This is a very, very low requirement that I've designed this ship as. Anything more makes it better. This is the absolute minimum. Don't go out with less than that. And even then, if we want to go out, we actually have to take these two and actually make a little bit of an amendment and say these are also allowed to shoot at the smaller ones. Only these two. That makes a huge difference. You usually want more rockets, but who cares about using more rockets? That is not a problem. This ship is now ready to go. Everything is set up. Let's take it for a spin. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take this ship from Nilaus to Vulcanus, and then let's see how that goes. And basically we are going to see these two here. They will be carrying a lot of the weight of the ship. The fact that these are set to also shoot at the medium one. It's tempting to disable it. I'm just gonna take this just to show how impactful it actually is. We're gonna be doing this with this active. You can see that these two are shooting quite a lot, and you might be like, do we really need it? If we don't do it, then there's only the lasers, and you can see this is getting problematic to say the least. So let's get these two back and restore the front of the ship. There we go. Front of the ship restored, and we have these two shooting at all of them. So getting back to this, we are going to be flying again to Nilaus and then back to Vulcanus, and then see how that works when these two are shooting. So we can see that definitely these two have to be there, also shooting at medium ones, otherwise the ship can't survive. Of course, if we have legendary laser turrets, not a problem. If we have higher laser damage, not a problem. But right now this is, I want to sort of get the minimum we can get away with, and this is the minimum we can get away with safely in order to build this ship. And then you can always make it better, and when you get legendary and higher laser damage, then you can disable these two and set the recipe up so they don't shoot fire rockets all the time. That being said, these are shooting rockets all the time, and we're still not consuming it faster than we're producing it. So if we look at this part here, how fast we're producing 4 of these rockets per second. And is the consumption rate, let's have a look here, over the last 10 minutes, back and forth, then we are consuming, that's 3 per second. So we're producing there. That's an interestingly low number. Oh right, that's because it's been dipping. We look at it here. Interesting why they are dipping. Oh, it's because this batch is not actually keeping up. Over time, it'll be fine. And we also have like a gigantic buffer on the belt here. You can see we have 2.4, now at 2.5, and we've reached Vulcanus and everything is safe. So from here, we're going to be flying out to Gleba and then onwards to Aquilo. And let's park it at Aquilo and then see how that works. The first stretch into Gleba will be basically the same difficulty as Nilaus to Vulcanus. Since we're not relying on solar panels at all, then that's not really... There's one thing that this ship can't really start itself, because you need to get these in here, and you need to get this in here, and you need some power in order to get there. So what I usually do to start up this thing is to put solar panels on the side, just enough to just get this one to start putting in some liquid in here. I don't want to waste space on this ship for or solar panels that will only be used for the startup. So the startup will be a little bit of a hassle, but that's the one-time thing, and then you'll have this ship running forever and ever and ever. Cool. So we're now heading out towards Aquilo, and we don't see a lot now, but what we will see is as soon as we get like the bigger ones in, then it's not only these two firing. Now we can see the other ones are firing. And what you see now is that we actually need to shoot multiple times for the big ones, because we're using explosive rockets. You can also see that we're almost destroying them in one shot. Like for example, there are 3 shots needed. It's still worthwhile to use the explosives rather than the non-explosives. They are because you can see how much additional stuff gets destroyed around it. As soon as they completely pulverize, because there's always like an extra rocket that's inbound. Like here, how quickly that pulverizes. So that's really nice, and you can see that there's not really anything that gets us closer. We're flying at 395, so it's really decent speed. Now we're getting into the last 20% here. That's the most dense area here, and even then, it should be looking very safe. I hope. I think it looks safe. Yeah, it looks safe. Like this is really what I want to see. With the reason why explosives are better, they just blow up everything. And we have now reached Aquilo safely. So this ship is very safe. Flies back and forth. I have not set up any conditions. Previously I set up conditions such as do we have enough ammo, do we have enough fuel. I don't need this, because you can see we arrived at Aquilo and we're still at 100% fuel. We arrived at Aquilo and we're still at 2.5, exactly what we left with. So we're not really consuming much here. We've been consuming over the last minute there and producing 300. So yeah, not a problem in terms of our production speed. So everything, no matter where it flies, no matter how it flies, even at this lower level with only rare components, it can fly anywhere and it can be safe. And it has a massive storage here. So this is the design for the spaceship. Once you upgrade it to Legendary, then of course it's going to be better, be faster, have more storage. But this is designed for, well, everything. So with this ship, this is the ship that I would just be stamping down for all of your transport needs between planets. The only other ships you need are basically the Space Casino and the Prometheum ships. Any other ship should be this format, or could be this format. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you maybe learned a few things about how to design efficient spaceships. I'll see you guys in the next episode, and remember, these designs are available to Patreon supporters. So if you are a Patreon supporter, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Without you, this channel just wouldn't exist. So thank you very much. Until next time, take care and stay effective.